Hey, what's going on, my friends? Brother Brian here, Brian Wilson, your brother from another mother. Guys, I wanted to talk about kind of a unique experience that just happened to me. I was actually heading out with Mr. B. I was going to pick up a coffee, and on my way out, I'm just heading right up my street, and I see this guy, he's this young kid, he's African-American, maybe I think he was 18 years old, right? And he kind of runs up to my car, and I usually drive with the windows down because I love that fresh air, that cool, crisp air just hitting your face. But anyway, the guy, he kind of runs, and he's holding some money, and he looks a little bit frantic, and he's like, hey man, some guy was supposed to drive me somewhere. I think he was saying he's like a youth minister or something. And he needed to get somewhere, and he got in a van with some guy, but some dude told him to get the fuck out or something like that. And pardon my French, but I think he was just passionate, and I could tell he was just kind of breathing heavy, and he's like, hey man, I'll pay you. I need to go somewhere. It's only about 10 minutes away or so, right? And I'm kind of thinking, I'm just being highly aware, highly present, trying to feel out the situation. Trying to see if I sense like everything's cool, and after a few seconds I go with my gut. Most people would never do something like that, pick up a stranger or whatever, because in my opinion, I think a lot of us are programmed so much with fear. Like the news tells you you're going to get shot at, you're going to get mugged, you're going to get carjacked, that unfortunately I think we're just, and I'm not judging, I'm just saying a lot of times people wouldn't just pick up a random stranger. But, Brother Brian, I kind of felt out the situation a little bit and went with my gut. And guys, I don't recommend doing that unless you're highly present, unless you're really living in the now. Because if you're still in the past or the future, if you're disassociated, to throw out an NLP term, rather than being associated, where associated means we're in the now, we are highly present. That's when I would recommend, being able to really tune into that intuition. But anyway, I let the gentleman in. I let him into the car. I think his name was Brandon. Nice guy. And we drove around a little bit, and I could tell he was a little frantic. So I said, hey, man, take some deep breaths. Because that's another tip I want to throw out there, guys. Whenever you get a little frantic about something, it's amazing how powerful just a few deep breaths, even like one or two, just really just hold it in a little bit, and just when you relax it nice and slow, and just let those shoulders just kind of relax. Because I'll admit it, guys, I have trouble relaxing. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed my posture sometimes. I look like a Marine, right? And I don't do that just to look like I'm taller than I am because I'm a short guy, right? But yeah, sometimes just taking a few deep breaths can be really helpful. So I told the gentleman, take some deep breaths, right? We're riding down the street, and we make a ride, kind of, I don't know, I guess some people would call it like a ghetto neighborhood, but to me, I don't care. I mean, to me, in all honesty, sometimes I actually feel more at home in the lower income neighborhoods than the higher income neighborhoods, because I feel like people in those areas keep it real more. There's less bullshit, if you will, if that makes any sense, guys. And pardon my French again, sometimes I get into stuff. But yeah, I'm driving the guy around, and we ended up actually having a great conversation. We talked about government conspiracies a little bit. We talked about God and consciousness a little bit. And I was like, damn, I mean, I think he said he was 17, almost not even 18 years old. And I said, man, you are quite an enlightened guy for your age, man. I mean, I wish I knew, I wish I knew what I knew at his age. And he was just so grateful, and that's what I appreciate. And one thing I noticed is when we were talking, he mentioned how earlier the bus driver kicked him out of the bus and was very rude. And he said, hey, and this guy was one of my kind. And he points to the skin color. And obviously, both of them were black. And I kind of caught him there. And I said, hey, that's why when we refer to ourselves, when we put labels on ourselves, that's why I think that's one of the problems with our society. When we start trying to, separate ourselves from others. And guys, we've got to realize that we're all connected. And I told him that. I said, I see you as a brother. I mean, I don't care what color your skin is or any of that crap. And that's just me, but I think the more we can try to not divide ourselves and work together to solve problems, I think that's really where we're going to see the change. But anyway, great conversation with this guy. He was super appreciative. I got his email address, so I'm going to talk to him some more. And yeah, I'm thankful I met Mr. Benjamin. I appreciate you, my friend, and just kind of a cool experience and that I wanted to share with you guys. And, just to wrap it up, I think sometimes we could all take a different perspective on things. Like, most of the time, this is the first time I've really actually picked someone up. I mean, it doesn't happen too often that people are asking, but I don't know. I mean, just kind of a unique experience. I wouldn't have gotten to know this guy and help him out and just offer value to him. And who knows what kind of relationship I'm going to build because of that. So guys, just sometimes, keep in mind, take a different perspective on things. And I'm not saying you got to pick up someone in the car per se. I'm just saying in general, when little things like that, when people come into your life, I mean, try to see everything as happening for a reason. And that's another thing I told this gentleman, Mr. Benjamin, in the car. I said, instead of being frustrated, instead of being pissed off at this bus driver for being rude to you, try to be grateful for that experience. Try to realize that that event happened for a reason. Whether you're consciously aware of that or not, it happened for a reason. You attracted that experience into your life. So be grateful for that experience because there's a lesson to be had because of it. And once I said that, he actually did find a lesson in it. I think what he said something, and I don't want to totally botch it, but he said something along the lines of, man, you're right. Maybe the lesson was I can't rely on people like that bus driver. I need to rely on myself. And I said, my friend, if that's the lesson you got from it, go with it, because that's a very powerful lesson. Becoming self-reliant, not blaming others, and because that's when we really become free. When we don't blame others for our situations in our life, for the experiences that we attract, when we realize that we've brought it into our lives as the powerful creators that we are, but at the same time, my friends, we can change it like that. That's how powerful you are. So anyway, my friends, I know I've been rambling. I'm at about 7 minutes, so I will cut it there. Just kind of a cool experience I wanted to share with you on this Saturday morning from beautiful Houston, Texas. I appreciate each and every one of you guys across the world, and we will be in touch soon. Have a great weekend, my friends. Peace.